Hello, hello, hello. Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast. As you can see on the screen, today I have the adaptive yogi, Jennie Jackson, with me. Hi, Jennie.
Hi.
Jennie Jackson strongly believes in inclusivity for all bodies, that all the bodies are worthy of a yoga practice, no matter what. She was born with an ankle disability and lives in a curvylicious body. She has learned to adapt the yoga practice through her experience and also trainings, and is sharing amazing tips on her Instagram, The Adaptive Yogi. I'm so happy you're here today.
Yay,
Hello.
me too. Yes. Nice to be
Yay.
here. Thank you.
I love what you're doing. I love your message. That's why I'm so happy to have you here.
Awesome. Vice versa. love yours as well. Really relate to everything you're doing. It's just fantastic.
Thank you so much. So I would like to start asking you, how did yoga came into your life?
Wow, I have to really think back for that. Long time ago, it came into my life as an amazing tool where I found I could move in the way I wanted to. Being born with a disability, there's a lot of things I couldn't do. A lot of sort of group things I couldn't do, and I was very lucky to have an amazing teacher that helped to adapt for me back then. This is 25 plus years ago, but sort of not so easy to find now, but I was very lucky, and just came to it through the first class. Just something went off inside me. It's like, wow, what was that? And so I was hooked ever since. So came to it through finding something that worked for me, and I needed somewhere that I felt joyful and comfortable in my body.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you put yourself up in the mat to enjoy your practice, and you were living with a disability. What can you tell us about that disability and why maybe it was challenging for you to decide, I'm going to try yoga?
Yeah. I was born with severe club feet, so my feet were sort of turned into my calf muscles really badly. So I had many operations, and I lived in plaster casts till I was about 5, and they did a fantastic job, and I was quite mobile, albeit different to others, and lived with a lot of pain, but I could still get around without any sort of wheelchair or anything. But then as I got older, into my 30s, it just started to get worse and worse and worse, and to the point where I could hardly walk. So and then I found this incredible device. I've got it here. I took it off so I could show you. This is my leg. So I wear this pretty much all the time. It's a cross between a prosthetic and orthosis. So it helps me to walk without pain. It's amazing. So it changed my life. So that's when I started to train to be a yoga teacher after I got this from the United States. I'm from New Zealand, and there was nothing here for me, so I travelled over and got that and started to really get into adaptive yoga then. So leading up to that, when I first started, I kind of created my own adaptive yoga, and I had loads of surgeries in my 40s and couldn't do much. So I learned how to adapt from, being lying with my leg up for weeks on end, and that's when I really got into learning ways to do yoga that weren't perhaps the way, the traditional sort of stand-up way. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, because most of the cues don't work.
No, exactly. No, exactly. Yes. So yeah, I learned to create and adapt through my own felt experience of being immobile for quite a long time. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah.
love that in your Instagram, you're always sharing. You present, this is my leg.
Yes. I got up my leg. I say to my son, can you go get my leg for me?
And that's the first time I saw that. This is brilliant. The way she's adapting the practice and sharing the message, because a lot of people out there might be experiencing the same as you, and they think,
That's right.
I
Yeah.
can't practice yoga. Yoga is not for me. And
Yes.
it's not the reality.
Yes. You got it. And that's why I put myself out there. I'm an introverted, generally sort of shy person that likes to just do my own thing. But I've really put myself out there on Instagram and teaching. Just getting up to stand up in front of a class is still scary. But I do it, and I just know that, there are going to be other people out there that's going to benefit and be inspired to give it a go, no matter what they've got going on with their body. So yeah, it's a big drive that comes from somewhere.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how did you start with the adaptive yogi? Did you start right away teaching public classes, or how was that journey?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, started small. Super nervous at first, just like most of us when we finished teacher training. And I'd sort of just puddled away. I thought, does that word mean something to you? And I'm not sure if that's Kiwi slang. Just slowly did a few public classes, and sort of got my confidence, and then about 2 years ago I just really decided to go for it and leave my other job. So I was kind of doing it alongside my other career in an office in the corporate world, and then I slowly transitioned over, and then I just made a commitment to go for it and make it a proper business, proper growing up job. And now I teach classes, retreats, workshops, one-on-ones, and got to make myself have a holiday because I love it so much.
Love it. And what was your experience during your first training, the 200-hour? Was it a training that was focused on people with disabilities or not? What can you share with us?
It was challenging. So I think my strength from being born with a disability came through to, really dig deep and stick to my worthiness throughout the training. There was nothing for adaptive accessible yoga. They didn't know, and I find this still now in normal yoga studios, they don't know how to deal with me. I walk in with this on, and I have not even a word from the teacher. They just ignore me the whole time. They don't know that I know how to do, how to adapt. So it amazes me. So I'm really passionate about, getting accessible adaptive yoga out there. So I had to create my own adaptations in the training as well. Mm-hmm. And I was the biggest body there as well, and there were absolutely nothing to account for that either. So I hope, and I've heard that I have helped some of the others in the training through all the practice you do through a training to learn to think outside. Oh, hang on, not everybody's in an able body, and not everyone's able to do all these things we're trying to do. So yeah, it was challenging, and I've since focused my training into more of the accessible side of things, which is awesome. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can absolutely imagine that I can feel your experience. Yes, because that's true. And especially what you mentioned about going to public classes and the teacher,
yes.
you can see that.
See the panic.
Yeah. A heart attack.
What do I do with her? Yeah.
And sometimes it's so easy as walking to the student and asking, have you been practicing yoga? And they're going to tell you, yes, I'm a yoga teacher. Right?
Yeah. It would have been over in 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just went to a workshop on this week, 2 days ago, actually. Absolutely awesome teacher, very experienced, fantastic. Didn't ask me a single thing about my leg. And there were 2 other people in the class that had things on their ankles, obviously injured. And there were just no variations given throughout the whole workshop. He just couldn't cope with it. It was very sad.
Extremely sad. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing this video podcast.
Yes,
to really
I know.
spread the message that
yes, I love it. Good for you. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yes, 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 yes. My dream is that one day in all the 200-hour trainings, there's at least 50 hours on how to really create variations and make everybody feel
Absolutely.
seen and welcome in the classes.
Yes. Oh, that brings me to tears, that statement.
That's my dream. Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. We share it.
So what would you say, or what advice would you give to those yoga teachers that have that heart attack when someone with a disability comes to the classes?
Well, like you said, just talk to them, number one. Acknowledge and approach would be amazing. And I guess start the journey to just thinking of some basic adaptations that you could have in your toolbox for, just start basics. So now with what I'm doing, I've sort of got a whole lot of what I do for different conditions, but they could just think, right, what if someone had lower half issues? What could I do for them instead? And just start to get that into their toolbox. And then it's normally kind of the lower half, less common to have, arms, but there's all sorts of things going on with shoulders and wrists and all the joints. So just, I would just advise them, to approach them, talk to them, be open and inclusive as possible, and start to get some little tools in their teaching kit to offer some variations. You don't have to know it all straight away. Just some basic ones to start with, even just, the downward dog option, because that's in every class.
Yes. Love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember, for example, when I took my 200-hour teacher training, and I knew before becoming a teacher that I wanted to do what I'm doing now. But a lot of my classmates would ask some questions, and the trainer, the teacher would say, I don't know, I don't pay attention to that because my classes don't focus on that.
Yes.
I was like,
same.
red flag. So that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Really needs to be a Reeducation, doesn't there?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And then getting the message across that at the end of the day, yes, we're adapting for the body, but yoga isn't really about the body. So getting that message across as well, because it seems to have been, the asana has been plucked out of the 8 limbs of yoga. The Western world have gone, wow, this is yoga. A very, very physical practice. So I love to share and inspire people that it's way, way more than that, and all the other practices as well, and you really don't need a body to do them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest misconception.
Yes.
Every time I hear someone say, no, I can't practice yoga because I'm super tight in the hamstring.
Yes.
I
know.
We have props, and that's your body at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yoga is not, I always say, yoga is not for the people practicing like the Cirque du Soleil stuff.
No. Yes, same. We're not at Cirque du Soleil here. Yes. And there's only a very small mention, well, it is mentioned, but in the Yoga Sutras, of stretching. So yes, that's a part of it, but it's not all of it. Strengthening is just as important. As actually there's more mention about strengthening. And then, of course, all the breathing, the meditation, all that sort of thing. So, we love to re-educate people on that.
Yes, to spread that message.
Yes.
And how would you describe the difference between a traditional yoga class and an adaptive yoga class?
So, the first word that comes to mind is welcoming and inclusive. I always have all the props available for people. So, chairs, blocks, blankets, cushions, everything available. I notice a lot of yoga studios don't have chairs. So what can you do if you can't sit on the floor? You just can't take part in the class. So, in the very least, I have all the props available. And then I just always give options, and you'll always be guided into variations and sort of building up into if you want to take it further or not even further. You'll be really mindful of the languaging, and so it doesn't feel like the people that are, you know, doing something different doesn't feel like they're less than. So just offering all the variations is what makes it different, and being inclusive. And I think just me showing up with my device on my leg and my Curvylicious body, it's like I'm different to what they normally see as a yoga teacher, and you could relate to that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the same line, have you experienced any kind of, let's say, microaggression when you have shown up to a yoga studio and they don't think that you're the teacher, for example, things like that?
Micro's the word. And it's really hard to know whether I've perceived that in my mind or if it's actually happened. Because of my, you know, it's like it's still a real challenge for me, and I haven't taught much in studios lately, actually. But when I first did, I felt like they're like, oh, you're teaching the class. I have felt like that, but did I put that on myself is the question. So there's been nothing outward. Although I guess, thinking back, there has been the old look up and down the body. You know, that's definitely something that happens. And actually not just in classes, you know, when I'm out and about in society, what do you do? I'm a yoga teacher. So I do get, oh, are you? And they look me up and down. So I do get that.
Yes.
As well. Yeah.
Yes, I like to name that because I can also relate to that. Many times I've shown up,
right,
especially to students that they don't know me. It's like, and the students are like,
yeah,
and
it's just that little look.
Yes, it's like, should I leave right now? So I like to call it out and say it, especially for the people watching this video.
Nice.
Because we are used to thinking that yoga teachers need to be thin, super flexible, young, and that basically can hold their whole body in a hand while doing a handstand. And that's not the reality. No.
But it is scary to butt up against that. But I'm so passionate about doing it, and you know, for me, it was one of the scariest things, and I still get up time and time again because I think, you know, people need to know the real message here. So just to practice, you know, that your own self-worth practice and knowing that you've got something really valuable to share. Yeah.
Yes,
and it's
yes.
I sometimes still think, I can't believe I'm doing this. But
Yes. And congratulations and thank you for the work you're doing.
Because thank you.
I can really feel your passion. And that's why you're here in this interview, in your podcast. Yeah. Because you radiate that. And that's what we need. We need people that are sharing the message in a truthful way.
Yes.
Not sharing, because I'm going to say it. Yes, I'm going to say it because this is a safe space, even though it's all over the internet. I see a lot of yoga teachers that are now climbing up to this car of the accessibility, and they think that only by adding 1-2 variations or by adding the use of a block, they are now super accessible and welcoming. And no, it's not enough.
No. Yes, I'm with you. I hear you.
Yes.
Absolutely. And the body positive word has been really overused and flung around. It's like, really, it's it's not the deep work. It's just the words and the look, and so we got to keep going and keep getting that message out there.
Yes.
And finding, you know, feel over look, and that's what it's a mantra in my class, you know, just we do a lot of closed eyes in my sessions, to really feel from the inside out, rather than, you know, how your warrior looks them in the right place, and just really feel the essence of you or from the inside out is such an important message.
Love it. And what would you say to a student that maybe is watching right now that feels nervous, self-conscious about trying yoga? What would you tell them?
Oh, come to someone like me or you. There seems to be more out there now. But yeah, do your research on finding a teacher that believes, you know, all jokes aside, on accessible, really true, accessible, inclusive yoga that we're talking about here. So try and do your research on that. And now it's become so much more accessible online. So you should be able to find someone, but it is nicer to go in person. So do your best to find someone where you can, where you live, or online, and just really talk to them first, and, you know, just open up the conversation of what's going on and how they feel. And then for me personally, it was the daily practice that you know, built my self-worth back up to feel like I was worthy of a spot in a yoga class. It's like, amazing. Yes, I belong here. So, and that was a lot of practice to do that. So just keep going on that. You know, there's so much out there to help with the building up your self-worth, and just knowing that no matter what, you are absolutely more than worthy than anyone else. Doesn't matter how your body is. So just keep going with that. It's the most important thing.
Yes. Love that message.
Yes. Yay.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about yoga. Once you start practicing and you realize that your practice is really yours, that it doesn't matter how your neighbor is doing the poses, how the teacher is doing the poses. But the important thing is the change that is happening inside of you. That's when yoga is really working. And
absolutely,
really, that's yoga.
That's yoga, yeah. And union, and that's yoga's got me to that place of what I was just talking about, of the self-worth, you know, all of those beautiful inner reflective practices of, it's just life-changing. It's just such a beautiful practice, and that's why I'm driven to want to share it with others and show them that they can do it. All you need to be able to do is breathe. Yeah.
And I would like to ask you a question that I ask all the guests. Yoga for All Bodies is all about variations and using props. So I would like to know, what is your favorite prop and why?
Ooh, my favorite. Oh, that's mean. Only one. Bolster.
Bolster, and why?
Yeah. Oh, I just do so much with it. I'm sitting on it right now. So I'm always sitting on my bolster, hardly ever sit on the floor. And I just love it in Shavasana, how I can put it under my knees. I love it that I can come forward onto it. It's soft. I love anything soft. And my bolster's pink, so I like anything pink. It's just so versatile, soft, and supportive.
Love it. I'm sold. Yes.
Yay.
And finally, how can people find you? Promote yourself. Give all the information.
Oh, thank you. Well, the Adaptive Yogi is my handle on Instagram. So all one word, the Adaptive Yogi. So that's probably the best place to go. And then in there, I've got a link to my website and my classes and offerings there. And I've got a free workshop coming up soon where we're going to do 5 common poses and how to adapt for, you know, the common sort of challenges and perceived challenges. So do a little bit on Zoom, but I do quite a lot in person as well. We're lucky enough to be COVID free in my country, so we can get together in person, and we do retreats here in New Zealand as well. So it's really beautiful. So yeah, it's the Instagram, and you'll sort of trickle through to my website and things from there.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So if you're watching this video, go and follow on Instagram, The Adaptive Yogi. Like this video, share it, because we need to spread the message that everybody can practice yoga. Thank you so much, Jen, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your message, sharing your passion, and for talking with me.
Yay! Pleasure, anytime.
A big hug. See you soon.
Yes, you too.
See you in your home. And I will see you in a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast. Bye.